Well, it is 7 o'clock, everyone. I want to get this meeting started. I want to welcome everybody here tonight, and if we would start, please stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I'm going to invite Dr. Cusick to the board. Did I say it right? Yes. Okay, good. To the podium if you want to come forward, and she is here tonight to present on behalf of the library.
I'm actually going to defer.
Okay, great. We'll take either one of you.
Yes, I get to talk, which is so much fun. Libby Albers. I live on 507 West 9th and am a proud member of the Newton Public Library Foundation that gets to host the garden tour. I may have only signed up for the foundation board because of the garden tour. But we wanted to present one of the handmade gifts or trophies that are given to the gardens. These were all produced by Hannah Easton, who is an artist up at Heston College up through this year. And this was to be presented to Hondu and Tyler with the Parks Department. They came down and helped us out at the Midtown Arboretum. Everything we heard from folks as they came through the Arboretum was, I didn't know this place was here. This is the cities. This is incredible. Look at this space. They just were blown away. They talked about how much they just flew by and went up to Dillon's or went the other direction. Had never stopped and gone through the gates and seen what the Arboretum looked like. So, an outstanding day. Hot, but outstanding.
Yeah. How was the garden tour? Good turnout?
Yes, we had a great turnout. We raised over $5,000, and I think it's actually crept up to one of the best years financially that we've had. We're still waiting on a few of our raffle numbers to come in, but it was a good time. We had a few guests out at the Arboretum stop. Renata's Plant Bus was there, as well as Kendra Berkey with Salted Creamery. So it did bring people back to come get some ice cream.
Good.
So we would like, Carrie and I would like to present this to the City Commission and to Mayor McBroom, and then we'll do something fun with the Parks guys when they have time and aren't working so many long shifts.
Very good. Thank you. You can give it to Kathy if you want right there on the end, and she can pass it down and we can just each take a look at it. How's that? Yeah.
She handmade this?
It's very cool.
Oh, my. That is...
Hannah likes to curate her clays, so I can't remember where she said she got this specific clay, but she not only glazed it, but actually formed all of those pots, and then they have a special inscription on the edge of them. Pretty cool. We weren't on this year, but we were hosts helping out one of the other houses.
So thank you for opening up the Arboretum to us.
Yeah,
Thank you for coming tonight.
Thank you.
All right, well, our first item of business tonight on our regular agenda is to consider the minutes of the June 14th, 2022 meeting. And if we've had a chance to review those, we'll take a motion to approve.
I move we approve.
I second.
Okay, there's a motion and a second to approve. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. All right, item number 2, receive a request for use of Athletic Park for Sand Creek Summer Daze. Denise.
Yes, thank you. You have a request in your packet from Sand Creek Summer Daze. This is for their event that is being held on July 7th through the 9th, and they are asking for some city assistance also with different things from fencing and trash cans and picnic tables, and there is a map also of both of the places that they have that they want things set up for in the packet for you. The city staff has looked at this and are okay with that.
Any questions? Somebody wants to make a motion.
Oh, so moved.
I'll second it.
All right, there's a motion and a second.
Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. Thank you. Item number 3 is to consider a request for a temporary alcohol permit for Sand Creek Summer Daze. Denise?
Yes, thank you. Okay, this is also in conjunction with the Sand Creek Summer Daze, and they are requesting a temporary alcohol permit on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, the 7th, 8th, and 9th, and the hours are on Friday from 5 p.m. to 11 p.m., and then Saturday from 4 p.m. to midnight, and then on Sunday from 11 a.m. to midnight. They have filled out their request to the state and will be sending the application and everything to the state for their temporary license from them as well.
Okay, on the sheet itself, it says 4 p.m. to 12 p.m. Does that matter? The one that's uploaded in iCompass says 12 p.m. versus 12
yeah,
p.m.
it would be 12 a.m., I believe, midnight.
Yeah.
Okay, so Thursday from 5 to 11 p.m., Friday from 4 p.m. to 12 a.m.,
Yeah, midnight,
and Saturday from 11 a.m. to midnight.
midnight, correct.
I thought that was the case, but, okay.
I wonder who screwed that up.
Okay. Any further discussion on that? Any questions?
Should I not vote on this since I'm the applicant?
I so move to approve.
I will second.
Okay, there's a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign.
Abstain.
Okay, thank you. All right, item number 4, consider a request for the use of the East 6th Street parking lot on July 10th of 2022 for Splash Sunday.
Correct. This is for the gathering, and this has become an annual event for them, Splash Sunday. They were holding that on July 10th, and they would be wanting to use the parking lot from 8:30 a.m. to noon, and the staff has looked at this and is okay with this as well.
Move for approval.
Okay, there's a motion. Is there a second?
So moved.
Okay, there's a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. Thank you. All right, thank you. Lots of events, lots of things happening this summer. Item number 5 is to consider a lease agreement or a lease for Hangar AA with Forsythe Aviation. Chris?
That's right. And I'm just covering for your airport manager, Brian Palmer, tonight. This is a hangar lease agreement for Hangar AA. This is the one that's adjacent to Building V, part of the ABI development when they were kind of there adjacent. That hangar has been used by airport staff. They've done a series of short-term leases. Brian's identified a long-term tenant, and we would provide this lease to you for your consideration. It was considered and I believe approved. In fact, I know it was approved by the county earlier today. It starts with a 5-year term, but the tenant, Forsythe Aviation, has 2 options to extend of 5 years each, so they can control the hangar for 15 years. Starts at $1,800 a month. There is a 1.5% annual escalator in there that gets the payments to approximately $2,200 if it goes through the term of 2036. These are essentially standard leases that we provide, but we do have some back and forth with the tenants, and this was no different. No major changes from the typical hangar leases that you see. City staff supports this lease agreement, would ask you to approve it.
Is this their first presence out there at the airport?
They've been a short-term tenant utilizing this space, but this is their first long-term lease.
What do they do out there?
They're related to College of the Ozarks, so this is like their aviation division that handles their plane.
They are also longtime partners with Avcon and Butler Corp, Avcon's parent company.
Is that how they ended up here?
I believe that was part of it, yes.
Okay, I saw the aviation doing business as College of the Ozarks, and I wondered the same thing.
Yeah, I was wondering, are they doing flight school or what's going on? So,
Okay. Any questions? No, we'll take a motion.
I would make that motion.
I'll second it.
Okay, there's a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. Thank you. All right, item number 6. Annexation for Full Vision. Kelly and Chris, you guys can take this together. Item number A is to receive a request from Full Vision for full annexation into city limits.
Go ahead.
We will tag team this for you, as you noted,
Okay.
Mr. Mayor. Just the 30,000-foot high-level background, city staff has been working, as well as county staff, with Full Vision. You may recall they are located on the the south side of Highway 50 off Cow Palace Road, over near the Anderson interchange area. They currently are located within the county. We have been working with them for about 12, 18 months, kind of got slowed down because of COVID, as everything kind of slowed down during that same time frame. They are planning an expansion, and they have made a request to the city, a petition, if you will, to be annexed into the city and also to be provided city services, including water and sewer. Oh, yep, sorry. Here we go. They actually have 2 tracts of ground. This is tract 1, you see in the blue here. This is on their northern tract. And then tract number 2 for the request is this is the larger facility that most people tend to associate with Full Vision. This is where their offices are and those kind of things, as well as a plant. So the expansion is potentially going to be located kind of over here on the eastern edge of this building, and will also involve some reworking of their interior structures and their design and those kinds of things, and new equipment. In order to receive city services, they will need to be annexed into the city, and they have made this request of you. This is a bit unique. We haven't done one like this in a long time. This is considered an island annexation because the property is not either contiguous or continuous to the current city limit anywhere. If you see this map here, this kind of red line shows you where the city limit currently ends. So this is a little bit different. We do have to, there's a resolution in your packet that we would ask that you consider adopting. It will need to be certified by the city clerk, and then we will deliver it to the county, and then the county commission will need to review, make findings on it, and or deny the request, approve the request. They'll have to make some kind of action. And then there's a 30-day waiting period where someone could technically protest. Typically, it's the people who are coming in, but in this case, it's their request to come in. So we will do that, and then they will need to go through the normal zoning process through the planning commission, and then it will come to you. They are going to stay, they're industrial in the county, they will be staying industrial within the city as well. That's kind of the high level, and I'm not sure, Chris, what I...
No, I think
Island is unique.
Yeah, you covered it well. There are multiple avenues on an island annexation. This coming by way of their petition, it does make for a clear path to essentially ask the county, and that 30 days is the 30 days that the county has to act to make those findings. After they've done that, then the city would be free to adopt an annexation ordinance.
If something came up in that time and the city decided not to, they would not be required to. Is that correct?
Right, and that's how I see it, exactly. We haven't been in that scenario, but that is my thought process on that it would still require final action of the city because you can't annex without that ordinance. So yes, the county could approve it, and then the city would still consider that ordinance. I don't believe you'd be forced to adopt it.
Do you have an example where we've done this specific kind of thing?
Well, we did island annexation at the airport. City and the county were the joint owners, so we went through the same process essentially. It was a little different because we owned it, but it was partners with the county.
It's just not as common. Typically, somebody is already right there on the edge of the city limit, and so there are multiple avenues for annexation, especially when you're touching the city limit. This is a little unique. And of course, there are other property owners in the area. I don't know if would you like to speak to that at all?
Well, we also did a big one of these. I think I'm not sure if you were on the commission then or not either, Leroy, when we annexed Clear Out West
Yeah, for
in Royer West area. And the reason that we annexed is because they needed sanitary sewer. Their lagoons were failing, and the county was the one that had to oversee the lagoons. And we annexed a very large portion of land. That was probably the early 2000s.
And we will be making arrangements. Suzanne's still working through the details about how we're going to specifically provide them services, where it will be located, and those costs and things. We will get that to you as soon as possible.
This property owner has requested sewer, sanitary sewer.
Okay. Well, so the first thing we would do is we've received the request.
Accept their petition, exactly.
Do we need a motion to do that, or just?
Yes.
Okay. Somebody wants to make a motion for item A, that we've received that.
I so move.
Second.
Okay, there's a motion and a second that we've received, or that we will receive the request from Full Vision. Any questions? All right. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. Thank you. Item B is to consider a resolution requesting that the county commission make findings. We have a resolution number.
Sure. That's G-1286.
I move we approve resolution G-1286.
There's a motion. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Okay, there's a motion, a second. Any questions? If no further discussion, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed, same sign. Thank you. All right. Item number 6 is to consider resolution requesting the City of Newton, Kansas Public Building Commission offer for sale its Public Building Commission revenue bonds, making certain covenants in connection therewith, and authorize the city to enter into a lease between the City of Newton, Kansas Public Building Commission as leaser and the city and Unified School District number 373 as leasees. Donna and Chris.
Well, this is the second steps, I should say, because there's been a bunch of them, of getting the PBC to issue the bonds for the pool and the ball diamonds. And this was exactly how it was done back in 2004 when we did the first bond issue for the athletic facilities. So our bond council has prepared a resolution that approves the form of lease, and we need to execute that tonight. Last night, the Board of Education for USD 373 approved it.
Okay.
And as you know, we have the resolution already where we've approved the bonds up to $4 million. And then the PBC has approved that resolution as well. But this is another formal step that we have to go through. And the PBC will have their meeting, I think it's like the 14th of July, to approve the sale, and then they'll be sold the 1st of August. And then it'll all be finished by the end of August. Is there any questions on that?
There's a lot of pages to read through on that.
There's a lot of it.
Oh, my.
But he kind of kept the same as we've always done for this PBC. So that's why it was done this way.
Thank you.
Resolution number.
G-1287.
I would move that we approve resolution G-1287, requesting all of that stuff that you wrote in your. I second all that stuff.
All right, there's a motion, a second. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. Thank you. All right, 3 items now. Suzanne's going to take all 3. The first one is to receive bids and award contract for water to serve Sand Creek Station 4th Edition.
Yes, you have 2 different bids here in the packet. Remember, this is the end of the cul-de-sac when you come in out at the golf course at Sand Creek Station Edition. And we received bids for water and sewer extension. They're 2 separate things in the packet. They will be funded by 2 separate sets of special assessments, so I believe you're going to need to approve them separately. So let's start with sewer. The sewer, we opened bids for all 3 bids that you're going to be looking at this evening on June 21st, and we had 5 bidders on the sewer project, and the low bid was Apex Excavating at $63,790, and so staff would recommend that you award bids to them.
That's a
well-
secret, right?
Yeah, it's subject to state approval on the plans. The state is running a little behind on things, but I think we'll be fine with this. It's just a waiting game.
For some reason, I can't view it in the thing, but that's okay.
Yeah, me either.
Yeah, it's
It's
not.
kicking me out when I try to pull it up.
I couldn't print it either.
The app messes up. You have to get it through email on PDF.
Oh, okay. That's okay. No, I trust that we're giving it to the lowest bidder.
That is, Apex is the lowest bidder on the sewer.
I guarantee you that.
I move that we approve Apex.
I second.
Okay, there's a motion, a second. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. Thank you.
Okay, now water bids. Water line extension. We also had 6 bidders on this project. And again, the low bidder was Apex Excavating at $17,080. You will notice if you are looking at the bid tab, we had another issue where we had this contractor bid the two pipe types, and so we took the lowest of the pipe types. Pipe is still an odd duck in the bidding process, but they were the low bidder, and so we would recommend that you award bids to them.
And that was Apex as well.
Apex for $17,080.
Okay.
Yes.
I would move that we receive the bids and award to the lowest bidder, Apex, on the water line extension. Seconded.
Is there a second?
Right.
Okay. All right, there's a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. Thank you. All right, item number 9 is receive bids and award contract for the mill and overlay of K15 Main Street.
Okay, this one's just slightly different. We had two bidders on this project, and if you remember, the C-CLIP project C-CLIP is funding through the Department of Transportation, and we looked at phasing in work on K15. This project starts down on the south end at 14th Street, and we were going to try and get as far as we could to the north. We had an add alternate in this project, which KDOT refers to as an additive bid that you will see here. The note at the bottom of the bid tab is the low bid. The lowest of the two bids was from Cornejo and Sons, however, was still over the engineer's estimate. And so I negotiated with the contractor, the low bid, and we removed the pavement markings that are shown in yellow. And we will have to do that with our staff. We'll have to purchase the materials and do that with our staff. And I also talked to them about their mobilization costs, and they were willing to reduce their mobilization by $30,000 to get us under the total base bid amount. Remember, anytime you've got oil prices that are fluctuating, it's difficult to do bids on overlay projects and street projects that have asphalt involved. So basically what we're going to be doing, the base bid is going from 14th up to the railroad tracks, the BNSF tracks. We'll be doing a mill and an overlay and doing some full depth patching throughout, and we have to do some work to all of the wheelchair ramps that don't meet the current standard today. Anytime you're doing a state project like this, that has to come into play because of ADA standards. The average citizen in the naked eye may not notice the difference in them, but we do need to get them up to today's standards. Then next year, we will be bidding out the piece that will go from 11th Street all the way north to the city limits, and we'll have another project that's going to be taking care of 12th Street. My hope was we'd get a little bit farther on this, farther north of the railroad tracks, so we're going to have a chunk in the middle on K15 from BNSF up to 11th Street. But we'll come back and we'll catch that on the next year. We also need to upgrade signals in there. So this isn't all a bad thing, because I'd rather get signal work done before we put down a new overlay, and we'll see because we may have to tear up the street on some of this. So we'll work it all out. But on this project, the low bidder is Cornejo and Sons, and the state of Kansas is paying $300,000 of this project cost, and the balance is paid for by the city at large. And so the low bid is, we would award bids, if you are so inclined, for $1,119,431 to Cornejo.
I would make the motion, we receive the bids and award the contract to Cornejos.
I second.
Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. Thank you.
Thank you.
Kelly, did we need to have an executive session this evening?
No, sir, thank you.
Okay,
Sorry.
all right. Okay, well, that brings us to the end of the meeting. Nobody signed up for citizens forum, so we'll take a moment and go around, and we'll start with Commissioner Stinnett.
I tell you what, I was really embarrassed during the garden tour to make it over to the Arboretum and realize what I had been missing. That thing is amazing. City staff, they said that they spruced it all up, but that couldn't have been spruced up overnight, so that means it's been well maintained for a really long time. And get out and check it out. It's really a jewel.
Good. Commissioner Gray?
In driving around with my wife the other day, we just wanted to note that the signage that we have going on right now, the way we're designing those signs and putting them up, those are just, they're just striking.
Yeah.
And that all kind of feeds back from the culture of leadership that we have with staff, and it just looks to me like we've got a bunch of employees that really enjoy their jobs and take pride in what they do, and I just didn't want that to go unmentioned.
Thank you very much, and kudos to Miss Erin for actually designing those for us, and our sign shop and our public works staff for actually making them and putting them up, and they take a lot of pride in their work, a lot of pride in our community.
Very good.
Thank you.
Okay. Kelly?
No, sir.
Chris?
No, sir.
Suzanne?
No, sir.
Donna? Commissioner Valentine, it's quickly to you.
Well, first of all, as always, thank you to our law enforcement, our first responders for all that you do. I know Valentines have relied on you this last week, and just appreciate your attention to those nuisance little details. And so do my neighbors. So I want you to know that. Thank you for that. And thank you to the staff for everything that you do. There's so much that goes on here, and when I stop and think about everything that's done, I'm just amazed and overwhelmed and very grateful. Those signs look wonderful, Erin. They really do. They're so fitting with the community. And then I really appreciated the opportunity that we had to take the train ride, the BNSF train ride this last week. That spurred us to thinking about now getting an Amtrak trip somewhere in the future. So that was very nice. We were so grateful. And I know that didn't just happen. There was some work being done on that. So thank you to those who were involved in making sure that happened. It was a nice treat. It really was. And I'm sure those kids probably really enjoyed it. So thank you.
Vice Mayor Kane?
I would just like to say that based on what we just heard tonight, there is no shortage of gratitude of being a Newtonian.
I have three things. The first one is there's some property owners in town that contacted me, and they had a problem with a neighbor, and they had several city staff. Some of you may know what that is. Several of our city staff had went out and talked to the owner of the property, and he just wanted to let everybody know that the city staff that went out there, and there was multiple people, he was very pleased and very happy, and said they were just very wonderful to work with. So beyond our sign shop that's making wonderful signs, and Erin creating wonderful signs, we have a lot of people that work behind the scenes that do paperwork and check strange things and water and all that kind of stuff. And there's some, we really do have the best employees for the whole city. The second one is I went over and visited one of our fireworks tent, and it was the one that supports the ERT, which are our essentially SWAT team for our police, and a joint county-city operation there, multi-jurisdiction operation. Would that be a fair way to describe it, Chief? Multi-jurisdiction. And they have a tent in town that they're supporting, and just a shout out to B&B that's letting them use that property out front for free and letting them set up there. I asked when I was there today, one of the workers, and they said that roughly 14 at any given time, 14 of our own city staff are part of ERT. And so all of the funds that are spent there, the profit from those stays right here in our community and supports our ERT for training and equipment. And so that's a huge win for us. And it's largely staffed by family of those people. So just a cool thing. But also to mention too, we have several firework tents in town that are supporting good causes all throughout the city. And then today, I went over to Phil Anderson's place at Anderson Bookstore and Office Supplies, and they were celebrating 130 years in Newton. And so I went by there today, and I was there for a little bit of time, saw Kelly when I was there. But just neat. I mean, I was thinking about 130 years of, we just celebrated 150, so I was thinking 20 years after the city started, Anderson's opened up and has been going since then. So just a cool thing to be a part of and to witness and see. Not in that building the entire time. That building, I guess, was rebuilt after the 1914 fire. And so just a neat, he has some neat Newton memorabilia down there that is a 1918 basketball Ark Valley League championship trophy. And I said, Phil, how did you get this? I mean, I know you've been around for a long time, but 1918. And he said that he got a call one day and it was on its way to the dump. And he went down there, him and a group of people went down there and intercepted, if you will, the truck that was heading to the dump. And they found all kinds of trophies that were from the high school that was on its way to the dump because they ran out of room to store them. So now he is storing them at Anderson's. So just neat little things at a store that's 130 years old, you'll find. I asked the family if there was anything there from the day they opened, and they said if you go upstairs, you can probably find some things. So just a neat, I mean, Newton is full of such great history, and it's just a rich place to live, so we're thankful for that.